Detroit, and you're listening to Agents of Rage!
Well, what's up, party people? It's time to do this again. It's time for Agents of Rage. My name is Ren. This is T.D, episode 5. We got our first band endorsement. What'd you think about that?
That was cool. I'm glad you didn't tell me that was coming because that was a nice surprise. And they freaking nailed it, so that was pretty cool.
No, it was cool, man. I shout out to the Jesus Wept guys. It's actually fitting they're on this show. They were opening up for Exodus, who we're going to feature a lot in this week's show. Got some great music, some great clips coming up. I had a really good vantage point, so the video looks awesome. They did some really, really cool songs, some stuff they don't normally play when they're out on the road. So nice. That was fantastic. And so, here we are moving along, and we're caught up now. So now we're getting our shows in, and they're coming in. Basically we record these kind of later during the week, and then we put them out there on the weekend. So we're current now.
We are. Yeah, we're moving along. Pretty cool. Good stuff. Got our first subscriber.
I was just going to say, do you have his name in front of you? I can't remember.
I don't even know who he is.
I know, but
or how he found us, but it's pretty cool.
I know. You had it, and you sent me it, and hang on, let me see if I can. Yeah, here it is. So his name is like oh man, like Neurox Gilbertine or something, and it's like everything metal or something.
Very cool.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
thank you. Or
I'll send him a message, tell him we gave him a shout out on episode 5.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'd love to have some more subscribers. That'd be great. If you want to comment in the comment section, you could do that. We're also on Facebook too, so you can find Agents of Rage on Facebook, and you can totally look us up and follow us there if you want. Talk to us there if you want. Whatever, doesn't matter. We're gonna do this. Podcasts for the most part. People quit usually within the first 6 months because whatever, they don't think they have the following or those kind of things. And hey man, we're to do it because we're just metal fans and we love doing this, right?
Yeah, exactly. Plus we have day jobs, so there's no pressure to make money.
That's right, no doubt about it. Yes, exactly. Yes, must have day jobs. And I will say this again: shout out to Jesus Wept and for doing that for us. And one of these up and coming bands are from Detroit. They're got a really cool sound. They sound real good. So out of respect for them and everything, I'm going to play a few clips, not long, of their performance. This was the second time I had seen them at the Machine Shop in Flint in December. And so here's a little bit of Jesus Wept, and then I encourage you to go out and subscribe, buy their music, download their music. Here's a little bit of Jesus Wept.
Yeah.
So there you go. Let's bring what the heck? Let's bring us back.
Good stuff.
There we go. We're back.
So is
So
that
yeah,
a cover of a Thin Lizzy song or a
yeah,
cover
that's
of
it.
the Megadeth version of the Thin Lizzy song?
Great question. I just put a Thin Lizzy cover because I know he's the original artist,
Yeah,
but
sure, of course.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
probably riffing off what Megadeth did back in the day because
Hey,
that was
solid though. Solid.
pretty heavy,
Yeah.
good band. Yeah, man, they're fun to watch, and we're rooting for them. So
Yeah.
thanks for giving us a
Yep.
shout out, guys. We appreciate it. In fact, I'm repping my Jesus Wept shirt. That's the story behind my shirt for this particular episode. What you got?
I got the Agonist, who opened up for Death Angel at the Ritz in San Jose, California, quite a few years ago, and had not have really followed them, and they were pretty good.
Wow. I have never heard of them.
Yeah,
and
they're good, solid metal band.
All right, on. That's a good name too, the Agonist.
Yeah,
I always love how I'm sure there's stories behind how they come up with these names and all that. And
well, I was wearing the shirt at a show one time, and Will Carroll, the drummer for Death Angel, walked past me and said the Agonist. Of course he was in the tour, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, right on, dude. Well, Will knows it all, man. Let me tell you.
I see him at almost every show. He's a regular.
That's so awesome. I would love to have a conversation with him. He, had a great show, The Motley Fool, on Gimme Radio, which later became Gimme Metal, and it's not around anymore. And he might be still doing a show or something on the internet. I'll have to kind of search around because it was so great. And he turned me on to so many bands I'd never heard of. And he always had great stories of being on the road, obviously being the drummer for Death Angel and so many other bands. He's just been doing it forever, and he's silly too. He's kind of a funny guy, and
he is a cool guy.
Yeah,
very approachable.
Cool. Yeah, it was really weird when I went to the Death Angel show not too long ago, and some dude pissed him off, and he got up from his drums and he spit on the guy like he was pissed for some reason. I don't know what it was, but it was totally out of character. But he had to have good reason as to why he did it. This could be some guy who goes around to different shows and gives him a hard time. I don't know. But anyway, I'm sure the guy deserved it. That's the way I'm leaving it right there. But
exactly.
So we got a great show. Again, we're gonna talk about we're gonna show you some Exodus. Got some really good clips that are coming up. But the topic of today's show is the next four. So the big four. You know what they are. Obviously, Metallica, Anthrax, Slayer, and Megadeth. So the debate has always been who are the next four, and I think for most of the next four, it's pretty much a given as to who those bands are. At least anybody would worth their salt in metal. But you can make an argument for maybe either the third or the fourth. And so what we did today is we put a list together of our next four. And I'm going to show that to you now. So here it is. This is our next four. You can see this, right?
Yeah. Wow. That's okay.
Okay.
So you know why I didn't pick Sodom?
Yeah.
Because we're doing my research. They're considered one of the big four of German metal. So I was like,
yeah. So
have their spot already. I signed up, but I was on the fence with Death Angel. As great as they are, they had a huge gap from the beginning of their career till now of not performing as Death Angel. So it was, the other bands on the list, Exodus, Overkill, Testament, they've all been, pretty consistent throughout their entire careers.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, that's how I get it.
All right. Well, that's cool. So the criteria that I felt was important when picking this topic is they had to have been around since the 80s. They've had to have had a lengthy amount of discs, just lots of albums throughout the decades, every decade, at least an album in every decade. And they're obviously have always been a heavy touring band. All of those bands have, and have put out music fairly recently, and they all have. Now, the reason I went with Sodom is because I don't necessarily think of it. I'm thinking like the big four in metal overall. So who are the next four outside of the big four? And granted, there's in that German thrash, there's Destruction, that's in that argument that have been around. Tankard, who have fallen off, but were originally in that. Obviously, Creator,
Guys are awesome.
Is somebody who would be considered, and you look at it from influence. Death Angel, I love to all day. I have the hoodie that I wear, and I've seen them many times. And I have the Humanicide hoodie. I love their last album. I love
great. Last few albums they put out are phenomenal.
Phenomenal. I love everything about them, and I want them to continue making music forever. I've never seen Sodom, but that did not detract me from putting them on this list. I think about their influence, and I know that Sepultura really were influenced by Sodom. And what was unique about Sodom, and I love this, maybe one of the reasons I chose them is I'm so into this kind of music now with that kind of death and thrash crossover.
Yeah.
So many bands do now. I think of kind of, another hugely influential, or who Sodom was hugely influential, like Toxic Holocaust and Havoc. Two bands
Those guys are great.
Love them to death. Just saw both of them together actually in Detroit, last year. So I think that creating that kind of death thrash sound, which you hear in so many bands today, Jesus Wept, I would put in that category. I don't know what you call it. I've been calling it like dread metal.
So dreadlocks when you say that.
Yeah, right.
Reggae.
So because or I should change that to thread metal. So it's thrash and it's death. It's thread metal.
Thread metal. That sounds. I like that better.
Yeah, thread metal, not dread metal. Thread metal. And because it really fits both genres because it's got that music and we'll reference that as we see bands over the course of this podcast. For many weeks to come. We'll call them out, but I love it. I love seeing them. Neckrot has a lot of songs that are in that kind of thread metal, genre, and just so many. I could just go crazy here. Skeletal Remains, I could go crazy.
Yeah,
good. But
I was doing a little research on other people's, second big four, and the two most common ones I saw were Sepultura and Flotsam and Jetsam.
Yeah.
Not bad choices.
No.
Obviously, I wouldn't pick them, but Flotsam and Jetsam was huge. I've loved those guys from the beginning.
Huge. They've had a bunch of different iterations. They've adjusted their sound, depending on the eras and things like that. Don't hold that against them. You're influenced creatively, however you're influenced. But when they got down to it, and they were thrash and just serious metal, you could put them up against anybody, man. Just good stuff. And I would like to see I'm hoping like they will hit one of these festival runs. They are.
They're coming back around. They'll be here in San Francisco, I think, on the 16th of April. But
oh wow,
I saw them a couple years ago, and this is super cool. They were selling the baseball jerseys with the Doomsday for Deceiver.
Yeah, which is incredible.
So you can't find those anywhere. So of course I bought one.
Of course, yeah. They were here in Detroit, I think last year, maybe the year before, and it just couldn't work out that I could go see them. But I do want to see them, and I will see them at some point, just as I will see Sodom someday. And I just can't wait for that day. They don't play the States very often. They do. It's kind of hit or miss with those guys, but they always do that Monterrey, Mexico festival. It seems like, and I think we're going to need to hit that one of these years.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, exactly. It's always a little sketchy when you go across the border, but it's not like Monterrey's in like Puerto Vallarta or something, Yeah,
right.
It's kind of the upper middle part of Mexico, but hey, people seem to love it. It's a huge festival. It's thrived for a long time, and people are digging it. So one thing that we're going to dig and what we're going to get on is Exodus. So speaking of the next four, we know that Exodus is absolutely one of those members, if not should be in the original big four.
They're like 4.5.
You can make that argument.
You could.
You really can. That whether it replaces Megadeth or whether it replaces Anthrax, there could be a show that's based around that, whether I agree with it or not. Boy, their influence and their sound, and they're still as good today as they were back then. They've still got original members or members who came in after the original iteration, still going strong, and they may have the best guitarist in metal.
That is true. Hard to argue with that one.
Yeah, Gary Holt is the man. So TD hasn't seen these clips. I think I kind of shared some of them, when the show originally was happening. But this is a show on December 11th, 2023 at the Machine Shop in Flint, Michigan, same place where you saw those Jesus Wept clips. And I've got just an array of songs here, and they just sound so good, and it's so good. You guys need to turn this up. And see these guys if you get an opportunity to see them. But if you haven't had a chance to see what Exodus is like on stage, well, you're going to get that chance right now. So let's check this out.
Do it.
And then we'll be back on the other side.
Man,
Whoa.
I can still remember going into my buddy's room. This is in Benicia. This is 1984, maybe. And they're like, I just moved there from Florida, and I'm talking about I love the new wave of British heavy metal. And they're like, "Nah, you need to listen to this." They put on Exodus, and never been the same.
Yeah.
That first album is amazing.
I know. And 2024, they're still just killing it.
Zetro sounds great.
They do. They all sound great, and you can see that they're having fun, and getting along, and really enjoying the fans, and there's just nothing like going to a small club and seeing a classic metal band like that, playing all your favorites. They played another, 10 songs outside of the ones you just saw in that clip. And,
that's awesome.
It's just me. And their last album, what was it? Persona Non Grata. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
Phenomenal.
Great.
Keep putting out great music.
I know. We're so blessed. And it's good, man. As they say, man, we live in glorious times.
We do.
That we get to have the music that we have, not only the music of our youth, but then we have this new music that's coming up that, Kingslayers, who are, coming up and giving the old guns a run, the young guns. And we love that. And there's just so much out there, so much I haven't even we're at I have nearly explored. There's so much to still discover, and I discover them every day. Every
day you can find a new band. Even the ones albums gonna profile. I'd never heard of my band I picked, but I caught a episode of Liquid Metal with Ian Christie, and he drops it. He digs into the vaults and comes up with some cool bands that we forgot about or didn't know.
Yeah.
And so when his show's on, I'm always tuning in because you're going to hear some cool stuff.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So we're going to get into our album spotlight. What's cool is trying to shorten the shows a little bit. We've had these like hour-long episodes, and that's great because we love to show a lot and talk about a lot. But I was going to put like another show of music in here, but I think it's better if we kind of keep it in that 30 to 45 minute range. I think that's a little more palatable for the people. We again had no idea what we were doing. We're just doing this, and I think we're starting to get a little more of the hang of it and coming along. And so anyway, it is what it is. Yeah. So here we are. I have a
short attention span, so I can speak for those people.
Exactly. And now that we're caught up, all the stuff we've done before and all of that is out there. We're 5 episodes in. We're current and live. And so let's get into the album spot. So every week, we basically are, trying to find albums that we think you should enjoy. So we live in such a streaming kind of just download singles culture. And, you need to have an appreciation for the full albums. Bands put out albums. There's a reason. And again, I will say, and I think you subscribe to this, if you've got 3 songs on an album, it's a good album.
What I would say is that there's a difference between pop music and metal music. And that would be that pop music, you might have 10 songs on an album and 3 good ones and 7 fillers, but on a metal album, you could get 10 good songs. They usually don't have fillers. That's the difference. Metal music to me, is an album purchase type of genre versus singles you hear on FM radio or whatever.
100%. While I'm in the gym, and if I'm scrolling through, my favorites, and they're just playing different songs and stuff, I dig that. I like that. But when I'm in the car, when I've got, I'm going to be spending some significant time, I like to listen to albums. Yeah. I want to hear the entire disc as it was presented to the general public. And so I'll tell you what, we could not have 2 more diametrically different bands.
There were no parameters. Just what do you got, man? And it just hit this way.
No parameters, and this just shows you the wild swings that you can have in heavy metal music.
And I found a second one for me and Christy, that same episode, which I'll drop on you next time.
Okay, that sounds good. And so, what's interesting is this particular band that we're going to talk about. This is going to be TD's selection. It's a band called Visigoth, and I'm going to have you kind of talk about what it is that you like them. Generally, for the most part, not my fare. However, I do have an appreciation for this style metal because it's very it takes me back to like Excalibur.
Right.
And that kind of stuff. And I like that general theme. In fact, when I heard that, when I kind of was, listening to the band and exploring, I was like, this is actually what came to mind. Check this out.
I'll be your serving wench, Melinda. Might I fetch you something from the barkeep?
Dost have thou a mug of ale for me and me mate? He has been pitched in battle for a fortnight, and has a king's thirst for the frosty brew, thus thou might have for thus.
I'll be right back, my lord.
My thanks to ye, fair wench.
Boom bam. Oh, thanks.
So
nice.
The classic, the cable guy, and so definitely he's got a medieval feel to it. And what was it that turned you on to this group?
I like the the Man-O-War-ish sound. But then when I went to re-listen to the song on YouTube and watch the video, the guys look like they could be Exodus. They don't look at all like they're Man-O-War guy. You know, they're not wearing these, you know,
It's not like
bearskin,
Dio
whatever.
back in the day.
No. They look like a thrash metal band.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool because they're not really, you know, they're more Man-O-War-ish, but they're not wearing the Viking stuff. And so I thought it was pretty cool. And unfortunately, they've got maybe four releases, and it looks like they're not performing anymore. But there's 4 out there that are pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think this one's from 21, or 20, maybe 2018.
Yeah, I think it's 18.
This is 2018. The other band we're featuring album is from 2021, and and it's I guess you kind of label it as like that power metal.
Yeah.
You know, there's lots of bands out there. In fact, they have entire festivals of just power metal. And again, while it's not my go-to, I would totally go to a power metal festival and just soak it in with all the people that are just all like wearing like their Renaissance era clothing. We're
eating giant turkey thighs.
Exactly. Big goblets of wine, you know. And we're just living in the moment, dude. I would totally do that.
Yeah.
And they have those festivals. So it's really interesting. And and they're well attended as well. So without any further ado, we've got and what we've decided to do now is each just pick one favorite track. So I've got a little amalgamation of our 2 favorite tracks from Visigoth, and Conqueror's Oath is the album. Check this out.
She is the wings of the raven, against the winds of enslavement. On the field she stands alone. She's come to claim the throne. Across the winter battlefield, she rides with swords and chains.
So there you go. That is Visigoth, Conqueror's Oath. And so, yeah, they've been around since 2010. They're out of Salt Lake City, Utah. And, got a few albums out there, definitely a couple full-length discs. The Revenant King is another one, which came out before this one in 2015. They've had a couple EPs, including one in 2019, The Bells of Awakening, and in 2012, Final Spell. Their demo came out in 2010 called Vengeance, and they had just a single called Dungeon Master in 2014, but that's Visigoth.
Dungeon Master. Took a while to come up with that name, huh?
Yeah.
No what are we gonna call it?
Yeah, exactly. They're insane. So, yeah, man, a little power metal here on Agents of Rage, episode 5. So TD thought, hey, and it is a good album. And there's lots of good cuts outside of that. If that's your fare, if that's something you dig, this is definitely something you need to have in your collection because they're right there with a lot of those bands that are doing it right now and representing that music. So as we switch over to a much more aggressive type of band, we're going to get into an album that I just love, and I love every single flipping track on this. In fact, trying to pick a favorite for me was incredibly difficult. Enforced is the band, and the album we're going to talk about is Kill Grid, and 2021. This is a fantastic kind of speed thrash metal band, just incredible riffs. The singer, you can't really tell what he's singing, but that's okay. It's not important. I'm sure if you went and looked up the words, you'd be like, all right, yeah, there's something prophetic there, but it doesn't matter because the music speaks for itself and sings on its own. And it's fast. There's certain bands that you would just say these are pit bands. Definitely mosh pit mandatory bands. So if you go see this group, you got to get in the pit because it's going to be flying, and they're great, and I love them, and everything they do is great, but we're going to give you a couple tracks off the album Kill Grid from 2021. This is Enforced. So there you go.
Sepultura comes to mind.
Yeah, said a lot. Am I right?
Let's say it again. Sorry, you broke up.
Sorry, I
Bad
said.
connection.
Sorry, you said some of those solos sound a little like Kill 'Em All.
They did, yeah. It was
The Kilgrid
vocals.
song.
I'm sorry, the vocals were definitely Sepultura sounding, but then they've got the Kill 'Em All
Yeah.
solos, from that era. It's pretty cool combination they put together.
So TD turned me on to Encyclopedia Metallum, and got good information on bands and things like that. But they call them kind of like a thrash, heavy metal, crossover, hardcore, kind of death metal, kind of all that stuff. But they're pretty awesome. But been around, formed in 2016. They're touring now. They put out a lot of music over the last several years. They've got 3 full-length albums. Kilgrid was the one we were playing, and War Remains came out in 2023. Highly recommend that. They put out lots of singles, and their demo came out in 2017. So go check them out. They are from let's see, where are they from? Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, who else is from Richmond, Virginia?
Ooh, good question. Who else? There was somebody we saw recently.
Lamb of
Right?
God.
Lamb of God.
Yes.
There you go.
There must be a hotbed of metal down there, huh?
Yeah, you're right. Because when we were at Blue Ridge this past time, there was also a Virginia band that was from there, and I can't remember which one it was, but whatever. Yeah, hotbed of metal down there, and Enforce killing it. Haven't seen them. Can't wait to see them. They haven't, graced Detroit yet, but and by the way, TD is out on the West Coast. He's a Bay Area guy. I'm in Detroit, and we get together at least once a year to go to a festival, spend time, and that's kind of where we had the idea to do this podcast. And so he gets a chance to check out stuff out there, and I see the stuff that comes by way of Detroit. So, in fact, now that we're live and we're caught up, I've got next Friday, so April 14th, I will be at, or April 12th, whatever, April 12th, I think it is, Violence.
Oh.
Yes. Playing the Sanctuary in Hamtramck, which is a suburb of Detroit, right outside of Detroit, basically Detroit. Hamtramck Violence is coming, and they are doing Eternal Nightmare in its entirety, as well as some other stuff. And I am extremely looking forward to that show.
This is your first time seeing them, right?
First time seeing them because, they haven't been together, doing a whole lot.
Well, the first time I saw them, coincidentally enough, was when they just got back together.
Okay.
They did the Killian on Command benefit show for Sean Killian, and then the band got back together when he got healthier. So I didn't see them as a kid, like a lot of people did either.
Yeah.
But they're good. They're real good.
Oh, yeah. They're solid. Can't wait. They're playing with Exhorter.
Oh,
And
nice.
this band called Deceased. Which is
That's
awesome.
metal.
Yes, and Mortal Wound.
Another good metal name.
I am looking forward to that show.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy all 4 of those bands. So that's Friday, April 12th at the Sanctuary in Hamtramck. If by some chance you happen to be there, look me up, say what's up, and say you heard about it on Agents of Rage. But whatever. I always meet cool people. And one of the things and I'm taking a newbie. And what I mean by newbie is I'm taking a guy who's never been to a metal show.
Oh.
To this show. So, but he's looking forward to it. He plays on my hockey team. He's a cool dude.
Oh, he's tough enough to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's all I would be worried about.
Exactly. He knows what's up.
You can do some body checks you do in hockey.
Yeah, exactly. So he's gonna be fine. But I always meet people, and I've been, now I can really hype up the podcast. And you were even talking about, maybe at some point we'll get some merch.
That's on our list.
That would be cool. We'll have to really craft it out. I think our logo is pretty cool.
Yeah, just got to figure out how we want to do it on the shirt.
Yeah.
And just do it.
Yeah, and we can create something unique just for the shirt, something different. I've got a graphic designer that I work with, and she's the one who, shout out to Kara, who created our logo, and, appreciate that and what she did. So we're going to wrap it up now. And basically, next show, I'm definitely going to have clips from the Machine Head Fear Factory Orbit Culture show, Gates to Hell show that I saw at St. Andrews Hall in Detroit in February. So I'm going to have clips from that on the next show as well. We'll do another spotlight, and we'll pick another topic. TD had put out a lot of different topics, so we'll start off the show with the topic. If you got topics that you want to see, if you happen to be coming across this and you feel like you want to put it out there, then let us know. And hey, man, we'll talk to you.
Sure.
Yeah,
we're open.
I mean, again, we're just two dudes who love metal and just doing this for shits and giggles. There's really no other reason. But also it gives us a chance to hang out. I like hanging out with TD, and we do have good times, and it's we don't get a chance to do it. So this is a great opportunity to do that, and I mentioned this on the last show. We are gonna maybe after the next one, maybe we'll get a guest on in a couple weeks. We'll plan to have one of our homies or somebody else, and I can fit a few people on this, so we can bring them on.
Yeah,
and
that sounds fun.
Yeah, so we'll plan that. We'll figure that out, and we'll go ahead and bring some of our friends and get their perspective on stuff, everything metal, and who knows, maybe if this thing gets some legs, we can have fans join us. I'll send out the link to the fans, and they can come on, and we can talk what you love about metal. Or, the main thing is we love fests. So, there's some good fests that are coming up that have some good bands and some, really good stuff. And if you go to one and you want to review it here, that would be awesome. You could even send me clips, and I could edit those down and put them up. So you got to admit, I was in a really good spot for Exodus. Those clips were
That was a good spot. I'm surprised you didn't get crushed from the pit, but
no, I did. It was just a little. It was just perfect where I was, and I had some protectors, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Some
bodyguards.
Yeah, some bodyguards, man, holding the line.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't do it for the whole time. I just did it for a little bit, and for those few songs, because I love those songs so much. So great to hear. I mean, Impact. Yeah. I mean, Impact is imminent, man. I mean, it's like, come on now, Brain Dead. Let's go. And
then there were none.
Yeah, I mean, it's just insane. So great stuff. Great stuff. And hey, man, this was fun.
Always. Until next time.
Yes, sir. So same bat time, same bat channel, whatever. Basically, our plan is we recorded these at some point during the week, and then we get them up on the weekend. So this will be up either Saturday or Sunday, probably Saturday. And, hey, let us know what you think. Otherwise, this has been another edition of Agents of Rage, and we will be back next week for another exciting episode with clips and album selections and topics and all of that. So for TD, I'm El Ren. We will see ya